and thanks for joining me on this week's episode of your favorite show, Random Conversations with Tommy, ouRCiTy, here on Kroba TV with your favorite girl, Oluwatomisi, here to serve you as usual. If it's your first time in this space, well, Random Conversations with Tommy is the show where we get to talk about random things with persons of eye insight and eye knowledge of whatever it is we choose to talk about. Today's episode is not going to be different, as I have with me an amazing guest with whom I will be talking an interesting and enlightening topic. We'll go on a quick when we come back. The show will officially begin. I get introduced to you who my guest is, and we get to talk about what it is I say we are talking about. Don't go nowhere, guys. You're still here watching Random Conversations with Tommy, ouRCiTy, here on Kroba TV. Welcome back from that short break. You're still watching Random Conversations with Tommy, ouRCiTy, here on Kroba TV. And I said to you that I have an amazing guest. This conversation, I hope or I intend, will be very interesting, enlightening, and exciting. So I have with me the CEO Bornstar.ng apparels. Is a fashionpreneur, a fashion enthusiast. He is a writer, he is a blogger, a fashion blogger, he is a budding entrepreneur. I'm talking about Adedamola. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
I'm very well, thank you. First of all, I like your, I think you get to show yourself on my own
big.
show. Alright, so we are talking fashion and style, right? I mean, you're in the business of it, so I feel like it would be easy for us to get you to talk about this kind of thing, especially because I feel like this is a time where people need to be enlightened more about fashion, really, because everybody's just dressing, like everybody's just going with trends and all of that. But I feel like the narrative has to change. There has to be a proper way to how we see fashion and style. So, but let's start with what fashion really is, right? What does fashion mean to you?
Yeah,
and how does it how can it be expressed in our lifestyle?
Okay. Yeah, for me, fashion for me is self-expression.
Okay.
Basically, expressing oneself really, going down to relativity of colors, designs, fabrics, and all of that. And as well, fashion is not just about how one is seen, but particularly how one's accorded dignity to live.
Please, can you?
Yeah, fashion is not just how one is seen, but particularly how one is accorded dignity to live.
Okay.
Yeah, because for example now, I really want to express myself. I do some sketches, then I bring them to life by designing them. But then it's not just about just wearing them. I want to get some dignity for wearing those pieces. So it's not just about how I'm seen or how people are seeing me in those pieces, but how I'm being respected for it.
Oh, nice. Okay, so how then do you define style? I mean, if you define fashion in that manner, how do you define style?
Yeah, style is just your thing.
Okay.
Just your personal thing. Okay. My style will be different from your style, basically. Okay. So that's just it.
Alright, so how do we now inculcate it into fashion in a way that it now builds for us a lifestyle?
Yeah, firstly, I would say we have a lot of people who doesn't really have interest in fashion. Because basically when you ask some people, what do you know about fashion? People are like, let me just wear anything. You get? Yeah. But basically just starting from oneself, you need to develop yourself first. Okay, I want to find, you don't have to have utmost interest for fashion, but basically from what you have, you just start up something and start your own style, basically.
Alright, so how do you, I mean, so there are different kinds of styles and all of that. I mean, so, I mean, there are different kinds of ways that you can decide to appear or to be known for, like their signature styles. So how do you define, I mean, at what point do you think it's important for you to define your own style in such a way that, I mean, when people see, people are like, oh, this is this person. So for instance now, tailors and fashion designers, there's a way they have this thing that when you see their wares outside, you know, oh, this is this person, or this is this person's piece. So how do you, I mean, even without being a tailor, how do you define your own style in a way that, I mean, when people see you from behind, you know, oh, that's this person going, and all of that.
Yeah, the thing is, we actually have different types of brands now, and what they base on. We have brands who are just built to blur the lines between gender binaries, and we have some brands who just base on one face. When I mean one face, it's like, okay, you want to make native wears, they based on just native wears. You want to make corporate outfits, they based on that. Then while we have, because now this generation, our generation is an exposed one.
Yeah, sure.
And every day the media, things are getting very more. Yeah. So we tend to brands who blur the lines between gender binaries are going very far down.
What do you mean by blur the lines
between gender binaries? Yeah, that's just making pieces that could be worn typically by both genders.
Oh, okay.
Because before we were told that okay, this is what a female could wear, this is what a male could wear. But now we have brands who are, and which are part of those brands.
Shout out to Bornstar.
So which are actually blurring the lines between gender binaries. So making pieces that old men could wear, old men could wear, and younger people could wear too. So not just that, okay, that's just so differentiating it, recognizing it. Now if I'm going and you see me on something you could typically see on a female, you know that that's Bornstar's brand. Or you see something like that, you could say that's orange culture because you could differentiate from that. But then when you see a brand just putting on a whole native, you know that okay, this has to be a native brand. And basically, what inspires my brand basically is just the will to change the narrative for local designers.
Okay, we'll go on a quick break now. When we come back, Bornstar Adedamola would explain to us what it means by that. You're still watching Random Conversations with ouRCiTy here on Crobat TV, and I still have with me CEO Bornstar.ng, and we're still talking fashion and style. Don't go nowhere. Welcome back from that short break. You're still here on ouRCiTy, here on Crobat TV, and I still have with me CEO Bornstar. We are still talking fashion and style. So before we went on the break, you were talking about what inspires your brand and all of that, right? You said it has to do with the will to change the narrative. So what narrative are you changing, and to what are you changing it into?
Yeah. So I said earlier that I'm all about blurring the line between gender binaries. And this reflects on my cuts and brand pieces being androgynous. Yeah, so the will to change narrative for African local designers to express our crafts and indigenous designs or pieces in a more modernized, luxury and sustainable way. Understand? Because I tend to, I've worked with a lot of artisans. Some who tend to make footwears for me. I just give the sketch, they make it, or handbags and all that. But then I feel we could be accepted in a more international level than just our local way. You get the way we have crafts that when we tend to like push it out more, they tend to appreciate it abroad because of the way the energy put in. So that things like that are what keeps pushing my brand, the inspiration.
Okay, alright. So now you've also helped us to define what your brand is about. So as an individual, for instance, as a person, me particular now, if I desire, so I'm trying to, I'm a brand on my own, right? But I'm trying to also define my brand in my style, in my choice of fashion and all of that. You know, I'm trying to be known for this person. Like, okay, so I already have a brand name, I have what I do as a brand. So how do I also have a style to myself in such a way that, like, I'm a definite brand, like in all entirety, right? So at what point do you think it's important for me to define my style, and what are the things to look into to define my style? What factors should I look into to determine, okay, this is how my style should be, this is what I should wear per time and all of that?
Yeah, basically it depends from your vision.
Okay.
Your goal basically.
Okay.
Like we've got brands whose goal are just to work with printed pieces.
Okay.
You get, so definitely what you're working on has to do with printed stuffs.
Okay.
You get, while we have brands who just work with plain pieces.
Okay.
So now if, for example, I am this brand who makes printings on my fabrics and make them how, definitely I tend to align that with my vision, the vision for my brand. But definitely I can't be like, okay, set my vision to be like making printed pieces, then going to get exploring to other stuff. So once you get your vision, you work towards it.
Okay, now that is as a fashion designer.
Yeah.
But now I'm saying as an individual, not like as just a random person, I mean, I feel like even as random persons, we should be able to define our style. Don't just jump on anything, You should be able to be identified with this kind of. Of course, it's good that it's good. Variety is good, but sometimes it's good to also allow yourself align with a particular style that people can easily identify you with. So I'm saying now that what are those factors to help you decide or determine how your style should look like, or what kind of style you should work with?
Yeah. Firstly, it has to go with your convenience.
Okay.
How convenient is it for you?
Okay.
I could be the type who likes flashy outfits, but you could be the style whose style is just a cool color and everything. So that has to be the first factor to consider. Okay. Then secondly, the second factor to consider is what does my personal, like I said the other time, what does my personal style looks like? Okay. Am I this type of person who likes it all, elaborative? Or am I this one who just likes it cool, then just go with the flow? Because when you are cool, people know that, oh, when you see that guy really cool, that is him. You get. But when you see flash, it's his thing. You get. So they easily recognize you for that. And it's always important whenever you're into personal style or whatever, your convenience matters a lot. Because that's the way you carry yourself, and the way you carry yourself is the way people will define you.
All right, so let's move on to trends now, right? Trends is like the most popular thing now, right? When it comes to fashion and style, something comes out, everybody jumps on it, whether it suits you or it doesn't suit you. But the fact that it's popular, everybody jumps on it. So my issue now usually with that is it a must to, of course, trends is good. I mean, it's good to go with the trends, but must you always jump on trends?
Okay. Yeah, well, it depends on you once again. Okay. We've got a lot of trends going on, but there are some who are not healthy. When I said that they are not healthy, it's not just we have people celebrities. Yeah. Most of the celebrities we see, we know them because they're celebrities. They have to sell themselves out. But you is just an ordinary person. You get, like, when I say ordinary, I don't mean like just a young person.
Someone who is not in the
you get that kind of you get. So you just have to do something that you think when people see you with, they feel okay. And basically for me myself, what people say doesn't really matter. You get. But definitely I have to make sure I'm convenient with it. And I have to make sure that okay, this thing I'm doing, okay, fine, celebrities are doing it. But then there should be something
that's unique about.
So it's not just about trend everything. I love to follow trends that are unique actually. Yeah. You get. Other people might want to follow trends that you just see celebrities on. In fact, you see a lot of people these days, they go to meet fashion designers like I saw this celebrity you get, and I want
and then they get what I ordered, what I got.
that kind of scenario. So that's just the kind of trend you want to follow.
Yeah. Okay, so you mentioned you when you were talking and you talked about healthy trends. What do you mean by healthy trends? How do you know the trends that are healthy and those that are not, in order that you don't make the wrong decision following what is not, like chasing clouds basically?
Yeah, the thing is we have our work as a designer is just to portray, show out there what we have up here. Yeah. You get. But yours is now just to take it in. You get. So we have a lot of designers. Theirs is just let me just make something for people to just buy. Yeah. You get. But yours, you getting it, you need to know that is this something that is healthy to me. Imagine wearing something very, very explosive. You get to an outdoor event where we have like about more than 1,000 people. You get persons. So there, how do you feel with it? Yeah. So things like you have to really, really consider it. As a designer, it's just to create what we have up here.
So but yours, you to use what you have up here.
For the healthy one. Yeah.
Okay. Alright, we are going on another break. When we come back, we'll be wrapping up on the show, and I will be asking Adedamola one last question. Don't go nowhere, guys. Welcome back from that short break. You're still here watching Random Conversations with ouRCiTy here on Kroba TV, and I still have with me CEO Bornstar, and we're still here talking fashion and style. But we're about rounding up. But before I let my guest go, I'd like to have ask one more question. So here's the thing, right? There's something about human beings. We just naturally love fashion, even though we might decide not to express it. We always, I feel like we always have a thing for fashion. So how are you able to merge your love for fashion into your style, into your lifestyle, or your merge your love for fashion into your style to make a lifestyle for yourself?
Yeah, I'm actually an introvert.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm an introvert as a person, and that's just like a lifestyle. Yeah. So, and I'm not this type who has a lot of friends. So I have friends online, you get social media friends. But then I'm just more of an inside person, you get. So fashion has just been a way of expressing myself more.
Okay.
So I've just tried to like you get balance. So
Your fashion is the loud voice.
Yeah,
your loud voice.
So definitely I have a lot going on here.
Yeah.
But fashion has always been a way of expressing it, putting it outside there.
Oh,
You get.
oh, okay. That one is quite deep. Alright, so I'll let you go, Vishnu. Thank you so much for coming on.
It's a pleasure. I really do appreciate it, definitely.
And if I call you back, so you don't give me beat.
Definitely.
Alright, so for those who would like to connect with you on social media, what are your social media handles?
Okay, my brand page is actually Bornstar Engine. And my personal page on Instagram, because my personal stylist page is I am Adedamola.
I am Adedamola.
Yeah.
Alright, if you may, please follow me on my social media handle. On Instagram, it's The Educated Premier Talk. The Educated Premier Talk. That's all we can take on this week's episode of Random Conversations with ouRCiTy here on Proba TV. Till I come your way next time, I love you. Stay safe. Mwah.